Like that was a season that was villains versus heroes. Like we
Yeah.
saw it like
And
in play.
and it's one of the very few times that the villains won. Like the
Yes.
top two were
The
Raja and
villains.
Manila.
Yes.
And the two they sent home were Yara and
The
Alexis.
heroes.
It was the heroes lost in that one.
The heroes
Heroes.
lost. Yes.
Heroes, yeah.
The heroes lost. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey friends, your favorite besties are back with another episode of No Man. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my podcast co-host in Chaos.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, friends. So today we are going to do something that is very different from us. I feel like, I'm entering my Lana Del Rey era, which is something new for me. I've never done this. No, who am I kidding? We are ranking the top 15 villains of RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, this is going to be the episode where we celebrate the queens who made us gag and clutch our pearls, which we also were secretly living for. But now, let's be clear. Not all villains wear capes. Some wear lace fronts. Some toss drinks and untuck and say things like, I'm not here to make friends, while stealing somebody else's mirror spot or someone else's jokes. You know. Whether they're meant to stir the pot or are just born spicy, these queens brought the drama. Now, before you come for Giovanni or myself, remember, villains are not the problem because without them, Drag Race will just be sewing challenges and some kumbaya in the workroom. So
Listen,
now,
to quote LaShawn Beyond, this is not RuPaul's best friend's race. We need the villains.
yes. And we thought it was really fitting because obviously we just did our bracket 2 recap of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10. And that bracket was fine villainry at its finest. Some of the best, messiest moments in Drag Race All Star history. And so we thought it would be really fitting to have this episode. So now, before we get into our list, Giovanni, in your opinion, what makes a great villain?
I think it's somebody who's very unapologetic about themselves. They're not going to dim their light to fit a certain narrative. They're not afraid to let their minds be heard. So, when something doesn't go their way, when they don't like something, they're not afraid to mince the words and really let us know how they feel. But I think sometimes it's also not up to them, honestly. Sometimes I think the actual edit that they get makes them kind of villainous. But at the end of the day, we're not here to like shade anyone or bring anyone down or say that somebody is evil because they're not. It's TV,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I think the queens on this list get that. They made great TV. Some of them you can tell very intentionally did things to get camera time. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Um, they knew exactly what to do and what to say in front of a camera to get the views that they wanted. And I think that's great. Every storyline needs a good villain. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Some of my favorite queens have been villains, and I think it's great. We need them. Like I said earlier, we need the villains.
This is true. But I also think that sometimes the fans deem people or deem some of the Queen's villains when they aren't villains.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just misunderstood. And we're also going to we're going to give a little bit of honorable mention to those Queens because they weren't villains on their seasons. I think they're just a little bit misunderstood. Now, I've come up with 10 specific criteria that I think makes for a really great reality TV villain. And I think for the queens that we have on this list, I think majority of them fit in one of these 10 criterias. So the first one is delusional confidence. They believe they're the heroes of the story, even when they're the ones throwing wine in someone's face. So, like, I think it makes a lot of sense for these villains to think that they're the ones that are saving someone when they are the chaos makers.
All that.
Yes. Number two is confessional gold. They deliver legendary one liners in their talking heads that producers and meme accounts replay for years. I can name a few of those memes that that we still use to this day, or like some of these one-liners that we just live for. I mean, even though Naomi Smalls is not a villain, but life is not fair. Life's not
Oh,
fair. That is amazing.
oh, fully, yeah. Get over it.
Yes, life's not fair. Like that is it was a villain moment, even though Naomi Smalls is not technically the quintessential villain.
Hmm.
Um, Number three is they're unapologetically petty. Whether it's stealing someone's spotlight or shade throwing over snacks, they don't let anything go. And we saw that in Breaking.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, that was a prime example of, petty NVQ points. We saw that throughout the whole entire bracket too. This queen was unapologetically petty, and it worked.
Oh, fully. Like, well, I think people know who it is, but like, it got them to the semifinals. So,
This is true. Number four is they're the masters of stirring the pot. They subtly, or maybe not so subtly, provoke others to explode, then sit back and stir their drink and sip on that tea like they did nothing wrong. And there's a few queens on this list that are masters at stirring the pot. And they're
mhm.
so good for it because they make amazing episodes. Number five, ruthless strategy, especially in competition based shows, right? We need a good villain who is not afraid to backstab with a smile and a game plan. And I think a majority of these queens on this list do a really great job at being two steps ahead of majority of the queens on their seasons. And that's what makes a really great villain. Number six, iconic meltdowns or blowups. Now, not all villains, right, are cool like cucumbers. Some have amazing breakdowns and we love it. We love a
Listen,
crash out.
I was about to say, we love when they crash out. We love an iconic crash out. There's been so many iconic ones, and we live for it every single time. Those are the moments we always replay. Like, oh, wait, what you say? And those are the moments we always quote.
Yes, yes. Number seven is majority of them have a memorable style or look, right? So often villains have their signature look, whether it's fashion, makeup, maybe even deadpan facial expressions, but it becomes a part of their identity and we kind of identify with, oh, they're about to say something real shady because that face is coming.
Yes.
It's like, if you know, you know. Like,
Yes.
they about to say something real shady because you see it on their
Mm-hmm.
face.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number eight is boundary pushing behaviors. They test the limits. They
Hmm.
push their other competitors to the edge as much as they can without actually, breaking the rules of the competition, but they will push you to that boundary. I think sometimes it borderlines a little bit of bullying in some of the like the older seasons. I think if you look at it now in the grand scheme of things, was it bullying? Yes. But did it make for great television? Yes.
Oh,
Is it wrong?
yes.
Yes.
Well, see, wrong in the best way possible. Not me
I mean,
defending bullying.
I know, right? I'm like, in no form is bullying good. But there was moments, and there are some queens on this list that if we look at it now from a different lens, you can see that they kind
Ooh.
of bullied other queens on other queens on their season.
Oh, no, yeah, some of the ooh. Listen,
Yes.
if the current like the younger fans now or like the newer fans were to watch the older seasons, they would have a fit. They would have a riot. Like they would not be able to handle it.
Nope, not at all. Number nine is audience polarization. A good villain will have diehard haters and also secret fans who they would probably say make really great television, but also want to hate on them on the internet
Mhm.
and provide them with some really nasty reads unnecessarily, even though they know that they make for good TV. And then lastly, they stay booked in the group chat. Whether they're eliminated or if they're still in the show, people cannot stop talking about them.
Oh, and definitely several queens on here that people love to bring up, even years after the season aired, and bring up some events that took place during their season.
Yes. I think sometimes these queens get typecasted as we always think that they're going to be the villain, right? And when we see them have a redemption arc or a new story, it's like, wait, they are nice. And it's like, they were just doing this for television, y'all.
Listen,
There's been some stories.
yes, now I was about to say there's been some story alleged. I don't want to say this. Allegedly, some of the nicest queens, or what we perceive as the nicest queens, are the biggest villains in real life, and some of the biggest villains on TV are the nicest queens you can meet. Allegedly, allegedly.
Right. No, so we've heard, word
Yeah.
on the street. That's what the word on the street says.
Yep.
So, all right, friends, shall we get into this list?
Yes.
All
Ooh, I'm
right. Okay.
excited.
I
I say that as if I had no part in on this list.
I know, right? It's like, ooh, I cannot wait to see how this turns out. So, obviously, we are going over the top 15 villains of RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, before we even do, we want to give out some honorable mentions. Now, some of these queens you may, and I know some of you, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you are going to zoom in on Tyra Sanchez and say, oh my God, why are we like not putting her on the list? And say that she's an honorable mention. But hear me out. Tyra wasn't a villain per se on season two. Is Tyra a villain after the season?
Oh.
Yes, but with her antics, yes, but I don't think it's a villain. I just think that she's being malicious, and I think it's different, right? I don't think what she's doing is good by any means. I don't condone any of the things that she has said. When you She went over that fine line of making fun of someone when they pass, right? Like that is something that we don't do. I don't, and that's something that I just can't see myself say, oh yeah, I'm gonna give her credit for that. No. But I'm gonna put her on an honorable mention because on her season, they thought that she was a villain. I just think she was misunderstood. She had a goal that she wanted to achieve, and she was gonna achieve that goal by any means necessary.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think kind of one of the other criteria you said, she was unapologetic about being herself, and I think that's what kind of rubbed people off or rubbed some of the queens off in the wrong way. Particularly like that moment when she was singing very obnoxiously. Um, but I don't think she necessarily meant to do that maliciously. She was just being herself.
Yeah.
And yes, it was annoying, but
Yeah, same
also,
queen that I think was
uh,
like
mhm,
misunderstood was Silky. I think the same thing could be said about Silky
yeah,
on her season, right? Like, so
yeah, and I think even Willem, I don't think Willem ever really picked a fight. She just said what was in her head. And again, that rubbed some queens off the wrong way. Like I'm particularly thinking about like her fight with one of her many fights with Willem. But I felt like that was really one-sided. That was Willem, sorry, not Willem, with Fifi.
yes.
Willem's fight with Fifi. Fifi was going at her like crazy, and Willem's responses were just so nonchalant. She's like, "Whose credit card? Is the carpet comfortable?" Oh no, carpet comfortable was a different fight. But either way, your tone seems very
It's,
pointed right now. Like
yes, that is the main
those,
iconic quote.
those, like the fact that she was nonchalant just pissed off Fifi so much more. But I don't think Willem ever meant anything maliciously. And she was just, she was just chill
Yeah.
about it. That pissed people off so much.
Yes. And then we also have Courtney Act, right, and Karma Carrera on this as an honorable mention. I think people think that they're villains because they spoke out about things that they felt was unfair or
Hmm.
the treatment that they received. And I don't think that made them a villain. I just think that made them like, hey, I'm gonna be really honest and transparent and say, hey, we need change and we need to do some things a little differently. But some of the fans took that differently. Maybe even World of Wonder took that a little different. And like I don't think they broke any rules, right? They didn't pull a Willem and actually break the rules. They just said what was on their mind. And I
Yeah,
think, especially now, we need people who will say what's on their mind.
absolutely. And it's so sad that we won't get to see them back because WoW feels petty or some type of way about what these queens said or for being called out. Because I think they're
Yeah.
amazing queens and I would love to see them back. Especially Courtney. Courtney's my favorite drag queen of all time. Like I would love to see her back.
Yeah. Apparently, right, and speaking of Willem, right, when you said something about WoW, there was this is some tea, I just found this out like yesterday, that Alaska is blacklisted. And she
Yeah.
finally came out and said that she was blacklisted because WoW does not like her working with Willem on the podcast. And I think that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's completely unfair. Alaska hasn't really done anything. Being blacklisted by association, I think, is insane. It's incredibly immature. I get not liking the queens for whatever they said or for being called out publicly. Especially Willem. Willem has always been very vocal about the things that she did not like on Drag Race, like things that production did, things that RuPaul herself personally has done. But I don't feel like that should be a reason to be blacklisted. Like these, if you're thinking about it from a production standpoint, these girls make amazing television, specifically Willem, like amazing television. I feel like that should supersede any petty feelings I have about someone or any personal feelings I have about someone. If I want good TV, I'm gonna cast these queens. So for me, it's just very immature. Ooh, watch me get blacklisted from WoW for some
No,
reason.
I don't
For
think so, right? I don't think he would, right? I don't think that would happen. Now,
yeah,
do I agree with them not wanting Willem? Yes, because Willem broke the rules, right? Like that, I understand. It's a competition. You sign an agreement. You say, here's what I'm going to do. In her season, she broke the rules. I get that. Now, Alaska didn't break the rules, right? Like Alaska hasn't broken any rules. She won All Stars too, right? She's been on the pit stop. She said great things about the show. She's always said how, she loves the show and she always want to go back. And so that's where I have a problem because she's her own person, right? She's never done
yeah.
anything. She's always, and it's just like us with the podcast. You're always going to have one who's off the hinges, and
You.
you're always going to have one who rallies the troops, brings everybody together. I'm the bougie aunt, you're the drunk aunt. Sometimes I have to reel you in because you are the Willem of the podcast. And, I got to pull you back. And so that's what Alaska does to Willem. And I think it makes sense. It's really good. But I just found it to be really sad that she finally came out and said that
I know.
about. So, and so many people want her on when it's true. But,
Everyone,
okay.
she's on like every list that I've seen.
Yes. But we digress because we're talking about non-villains and we're talking about winners and we need to talk about villains. Remember, this is
Yes,
all
yes,
about
yes, yes,
villains.
yes, yes,
And there's also
yes.
one queen on this honorable mention that, yeah, we said
Speaking of
honorable mention, but
Alaska,
I'm not going to, but I'm speaking of Alaska. We all know why Sharon Needles is on this list as a potential villain, even though she was misunderstood on her season, but has done some questionable things since.
villain in real life.
Correct. And if you know, you know.
Anyway,
So now let's get into the actual official list. Coming in at number 15, we have Ariete from season 17. Now, this is a new queen that made the top 15 list of villainry. But the reason why is because one, she stole Jules's jokes. That's number one. And that was supposed to be her chismosa, like her
hmm
gossip girl, like her bestie.
she was
Um,
backstabbing her behind her back.
Correct. And that nasty mirror message that she left for
Yeah,
Anya.
yeah. I mean, she was very petty. She let her emotions get the best of her. And I get, yes, she did that during the season, but I think we've seen more of that even postseason. The way
Oh,
she's
yes.
kind
Yes,
of
yes.
spoken about who was that she
Irene.
went off on? Irene, right?
And she called her a
Sorry.
pedophile. She called her a
Mm,
pedophile. She did. She
yeah.
called her a pedophile and a
Miss
racist.
she Miss Ariety needs some anger management classes. That's what she needs. Uh
Well, anger management, but also media training, right? Like, we
that
can't fault the girls for not being able to understand that once you're on a show, people are going to perceive you differently. So the words that you say, they mean things. It's once you get to a certain level of popularity, you are polarized.
may-
And whatever you say, people take it, regardless if it's true or not. People are going to take it, and that's true. That becomes the truth. And a lot of these, it's not their fault that we take them from local queens, we throw them on TV, and then afterwards we expect them to be media trained. No.
maybe her and Chaperone will get a group on and go to the same media training.
Hey, listen, yeah, listen, similar backgrounds. They come from obscurity, and nobody knows who they are. They get a little popularity, and now they don't know how to say things in public. It happens.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Patreon, saving it for the Patreon. Save it for the Patreon. Coming in at number 14, we have Darian Lake from season 6. Now, Darian Lake is a villain, and she was a villain on season 6, and she was a really great villain of season 6. Probably one of the first villains who went far in a season, I think, in my opinion. I don't really
Mm,
see another villain prior to that. Oh wait, no, there is one
no.
more that was before, and that queen is on this list too. So yeah,
Yes.
never
And I
mind. I
mean
take
Willem
back what
went
I said.
far. Well, I guess
I'm
she's
talking about
technically
like
not on the
finalists,
list.
like
Yeah, she's technically
almost
not.
like she
Okay.
almost made it to being a finalist. She came in fourth, and that
Um.
was like one of the examples of which you can still be a villain and also make it far.
Oh yeah, fully or win. Mm,
Ooh, potentially, yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Um. Darian Lake, her, her like I feel like her one-sided feud with Ben was so funny because she was constantly coming for her, but Ben was like just trying to have a good time. but it was so funny. But I also feel like Darian kind of had the stuff to back it up because we've seen some villains who are villainous, but they don't really have the cunt, the charisma, uniqueness, stuff, and talent behind them, or maybe maybe specifically the talent to like back it up. But I think she did. She was very funny, very funny. Her lip syncs were amazing. Like I kind of think back to the tips. That was so funny. But yeah, that one-sided feud with Ben is really what comes to mind the most when I think of Darian Lake, honestly.
Yes, Pencil de Creme. You're like a Russian doll, so full of yourself. That is one of the best reads on that season. Actually, it's a
I
really good read in just in general.
That it is. Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh, this feels like the original Lexi Love versus Susie Two?
Okay, I mean, maybe.
A little
You mean like
bit.
the ones? You mean like the one-sided
Yeah, yeah,
feud?
yeah.
Okay, where
Yeah,
the
no,
other
because
girl is like, I don't know what's going on.
yeah, that I don't mean like because obviously eventually said why she felt that way about Susie, yada
Yeah,
yada yada.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that was necessarily the case here. I think maybe it was just something that Ben de la Creme said once that really just rubbed off the wrong way, and she just kind of stuck with that throughout the entire season.
Yes. I
I don't
also
think she
think
ever
Bendela
just.
Creme was probably, yeah, I just think Bendela Creme was very, like, people thought Bendela Creme was fake. And I just think that rubbed Darian Lake the wrong way because we all know that Darian Lake is so transparent and she says
Oh
whatever
yeah,
comes to her mind. So,
yeah, that is true. I was about to say I think it was also Darian's. Yeah, I think. Well, I love Ben de la Creme, one of my favorite queens of all time. If I had to be stuck with her for like a
right.
month straight, I don't know. Love her
Especially
to death.
season six, Ben. Because now Ben is a little more tolerable. But season
Yeah,
six, Ben, that was a lot.
yeah. I
That was a lot for a
yeah,
viewer. Like, we were like, girl.
yeah.
So,
Love her, but
I
like
mean, I'm not
being
mad
surrounded.
at Darian Lake being the villain in that case because I'm like, listen,
Yeah,
somebody had to do it.
listen, I'm not the biggest fan of like super optimistic people, and there's probably a lot to unpack there. Y'all can send me to a therapist or whatever, pay for it. When I'm surrounded by like super upbeat, like hyper optimistic people, I just like I get mad. I shut down.
Listen, listen, it's
So I
going to be
get
an
it.
episode of Passion Papas and Poor Decisions coming soon to the Patreon. Subscribe for $5, y'all. And we're going to unpack Giovanni's trauma.
Ooh, girl, that's
So,
gonna be like 20 episodes long.
yes, he's going to be in his villain era at that point. Okay, so coming in at 13, we have the Heathers. Now, remember in the beginning where I said that some of these queens can borderline being bullies? And
Oh
I
yeah.
think the Heathers is a prime example of mean girls, right? Like on their season, they were mean girls. And I think they just happened to join each other by happenstance, right? Like they it just happened. Because obviously, Delta Work and Raja were really close, and then Manila and Carmen were really close. And I just think they, at that point, it was your drag had to be really polished in their minds.
Yeah.
But for you to be really successful, you had to have a fully realized concept. Your drag needed to be polished. You needed to be fashionable, comedic, or whatever. And then they felt like the other queens weren't ready to be on their season with them. And so they made it really obvious that they didn't want them on the season.
Oh no, fully. And I think it was very unfair, because I don't think some of the queens they targeted, specifically thinking like Alexis Mateo and Yara Sofia, were unpolished. They just had a different drag aesthetic than they had. But they were like, especially Alexis was very polished. She was a pageant queen.
Yep,
Like Miss Thing was polished. It was just they didn't like her. And that was it. I don't know, maybe something happened behind the scenes that
right.
we didn't see,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what started it. But they were really mean, and just ooh, poor Stacy. I feel like Stacy got the worst of
Stacey,
it.
Shangela.
Oh,
Um,
mm.
Yes, Shangela got the
No,
brunt of it actually
I know.
because
Yeah,
she was very
I
vocal,
forgot.
right? Like if you think of it, Shangela got a lot, especially from Raja on the main stage. Like they were just coming for her at any time they could. But it all made for great TV. Season
Oh,
three
funny.
made for amazing television. But I think this is also when you said like if some of the newer queens, right, or the newer fans of the show watch the older seasons, they were they probably wouldn't like her.
Oh, nah, they would hate the Heathers. They'd
Yes,
be calling for her
because
Raja to be decrowned.
yes, right. We love Auntie
Oh,
Raja, but
Raja?
like, but if the newer queen went back and watched season three, I don't think they probably would like her.
No, they really wouldn't. Some of those confessionals that Raja, ooh, ooh,
Yes, but
ooh,
that was the time, though. Like,
yeah,
that's what the time. But were they the villains of the season? Yes. And did they make amazing television? Yes. Was season three, did they have some of the best confessional one-liners? Absolutely. Like,
yes,
so good. And then to see the villains versus the heroes, like that was a season that was villains versus heroes. Like we
yeah.
saw it like
And
in play.
and it's one of the very few times that the villains won. Like the top
Yes.
two were
The
Raja and
villains.
Manila. And
Yes.
the two they sent home were Yara and
The
Alexis.
heroes.
It was the heroes lost in that one.
The heroes lost.
Heroes.
Yes.
Heroes,
The
yeah.
heroes lost. Yes.
Yeah.
But you could just see it. And I don't even think, and back then it wasn't like, oh, the editing like made the television because seasons one, two, and three, or even four, they were not edited to make like, that was real.
Oh yeah.
Like, those are real emotions, real things. I think we got the editing more in season five. Like that's when we got like, ooh, the Kokomon trees versus Alyssa of it all, right?
Oh, like
That's
yeah.
when the producers was like editing stories. But the first four seasons, girl, that was dumb.
No, yeah, that was them saying what they felt, and we just got
Yeah,
to see it. It wasn't
like
no Franken audio type of
no,
thing.
like tool
Um,
fabric, mommy, that's tool.
so let me see, let me see. Or I saw the tights and the tights were ripped.
Like,
Listen, there's
mama, that's tool fabric. Like, yes. So amazing. Heathers were really good. They even had matching like Heather necklaces. Like Heathers was a big thing. Mind you, sidebar. Heathers is one of my favorite movies, by the way. I'm just saying, if you know me, you know I live for the movie Actual Heathers. So I just wanted to say that because anytime I can get a shout out of the Heathers, I, I, I like it. I don't know what that says about me though. Does it say something about me?
I don't know, I've never seen that.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to number 12 on this
I'm a
list because
bad I'm a
I'm not going there.
I'm a bad gay. Oh,
12, Diabetes. Now, from season 14. Now, Diabetes is someone that I'm super excited. Obviously, bracket 3 is coming up on Friday, and I'm super excited to have Diabetes back on my screen. I think Diabetes was an amazing villain for season 14, especially being eliminated first and then coming back, or I'm going to quote, like air quotes, eliminated, because technically she really wasn't. But she came back and was Mama on fire.
yes. Yes. She I can't wait to see her back. I'm so excited. And I feel like this look, her promo look for whatever season of All Stars we're on, is such a great representation of her being a villain. Sorry, I there's been so many. Um,
Not you forgetting All Stars 10. 10.
listen, they just announced France. They like Philippines is already teasing. Brazil was just announced. They're all fucking with my head right now.
Listen,
They're
girl,
all
we're gonna
gonna
be
just
booking busy, but yeah,
we are book last and busy. Yes. Anyway,
yes.
what I loved about her was again just how unapologetic and how blunt she was. My favorite moment with her though was definitely in the reunion when she went head to head with Jasmine, which we
Oh
love
yeah,
Jasmine.
yeah.
But watching that fight was so much fun. I hate to say it's fun, but like it really was fun to watch. The only thing I did not like about Taya Betty was when she started to cry. Like, girl,
Oh my God, yes.
if you're gonna
Oh,
be a bitch, be the bitch. Like, own it. Like, yes, I said that. So what? Like, speaking of another villain, that Raven, when she was in her reunion, she was like, "I'm not sorry I said it. I'm sorry it made you feel bad, but I'm not sorry I said it." Like, that's what
right.
she should have owned. Like, it shouldn't be like,
Yeah,
"Oh no, I didn't say that," or trying to take it back. No, yes, I said it. So what?
yeah. But I also think that shows that Daya wasn't like an actual villain in real
Oh
life,
yeah,
right? And I just think that just shows that she probably was another one that was misunderstood, but and was probably realizing that, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
My favorite
I can see
moment,
that.
yours was the reunion, but my favorite moment was Untucked when she kept coming for George's and her napkin dress. Oh my God. Because
I mean,
Daya
that was
thought
a
that
fair
she was
crash
supposed
out.
to, because she thought she was supposed to win that challenge. And when I said Daya crashed out, oh, it's so good.
I don't think she should have won, but I feel like the critiques against Georges were fair. Love Georges, but like that should not have
Listen,
won.
I think Daya should have won that challenge. I think that was a really great look. No shade to the actual winner, like but it is what it is. But in my opinion, Daya should have won. Was the crash out? Was it warranted?
Like,
Yes.
oh, fully.
Did it did it make amazing TV? Oh my God, yes.
Yes. You know what? This is also a queen that when she sees her moment, she takes it no matter what. And I'm particularly like harping back to the filming of like the final challenge. The what was it? What was the name of the song? I forgot the name of the song.
Catwalk.
But when Catwalk, yes. But when Michelle kept hinting to, I think who was it, Algeria that was before her, to like
Yep.
crawl on the runway, and she just did it. As soon as Daya got out for her turn, she was like, "Oh, you didn't do it? I'm gonna do it." Because I heard what she was trying to say, and when she crawled out the runway, that was so good, and she had the best verse.
Had the burst verse and looked amazing.
Oh yeah, like that was. Listen, I was like screaming at the TV when that happened. That was amazing.
I think,
I need to see that
honestly,
again.
like, if you think about it, I think it worked out perfectly. The fact that Angeria did not crawl on the runway and Daya Betty did. Because it was something about the yellow and black outfit and seeing Daya crawl really slow and seductive on that runway was everything.
Really. I need another killer verse like that from her.
That was good. I don't think anybody was expecting Daya to come
Oh,
out with a verse like that, but that was good.
no,
Daya, I can't wait to see Daya Betty back on my TV screen. Like, I cannot wait for bracket 3. Shout out
me
to you,
neither.
Daya. Shout out. Okay. Coming in at 11:11 is the Vixen from season 10. Now, I know some of you probably going to be like, oh my God, this is like, oh, cliche. Like, yes, they deemed the Vixen the villain on the show, and she was the villain on the show. Yes.
I mean,
And then we have her on our list. Yes. The reason why I chose to put the Vixen on this, and Joanna, you can chime in if you want, but I only put the Vixen on this because of the reunion, and she walked off.
yeah. And I know we kind of discussed this. I feel like that wasn't that villainous, and that's kind of what I wanted lower on the list because I felt like that was actually very mature for her to be able to remove herself from that situation, so she wouldn't have a moment like she did in earlier in the season. I thought that was very mature of her, and that was her showing growth. She definitely had some moments in the season that were questionable, but I don't think they were always her fault. Like if you, especially if you rewatch it, like I feel like she was instigated a lot of the times, especially by Eureka. Like Eureka loved to piss her off.
Listen, we said a villain will push you to the limits. I
Yes.
also think that the Vixen in, season 10 took the bait a lot of the times.
Oh yeah.
And her crash outs also made her the villain of that season because the Vixen had a lot of crash outs.
Fancy of crap. Oh Lord. But I mean, we knew that was gonna happen the moment she walked in, and her entrance line was, "I'm the vixen, and I'm just here to fight."
I'm here to fight. And everybody was like, ooh,
Ooh, and I mean, she delivered.
she did.
She kept the word. Go
Yes.
have your cigarette, bitch.
Yeah, I also didn't like that they gave her like the angry black queen like edit. And that's
Yeah.
just something I just think that was very questionable for the producers at the time. But then again, it was season 10, right? So at that moment, it was a monumental season because it was the 10th season. Anytime it's like, oh, we got to 10, it's like, boom, we gotta do something different. But looking back, was she the actual villain of that season? No. Was there a different villain of the season? Yes. 10, we had a tie. They're both from the same season, but they're both villains for two different reasons. So we have Evie Oddly and we have Raja O'Hara. Now, the obvious choice is Raja because her crash outs on that. When she went full throttle on Plastique Tiara, when that in that like
And
untucked moment,
yeah.
full villainry. Like that was great. But another villain on the opposite side of things was Evie. I think people and I'll say this in the fans from my perspective, and this may be a hot take, and you know I love my hot takes. But I said that Evie was the villain of season 11 and not Silky because Evie provoked a lot of those
She
conversations.
definitely did. I think watching the season the first time around, I was like, no, Evie can do no wrong. She's just saying the truth, whatever. People are instigating her. But rewatching, I'm like, ooh, no. There was some moments, especially I think it was that fight with Banji. That was kind of like her
Yes.
starting it. Like her saying
Yes.
unwanted or unprovoked comments that really set the queens off.
Yes.
And obviously, Raja. Raja loved to crash out. But she got a lovely redemption arc
She
on All
did.
Star
She did.
6, and then eventually went on to win the crown. Very much well deserved on Canada versus the World.
Yep.
Raja has become one of my favorite queens. Straight out of season 11, she is definitely a queen. I was like, ooh, no, I never want to see her again.
Yeah.
Uh, Particularly because I really did like Evie, and I was like, ooh, she came from my girl Evie. I have matured since then. I
Yeah.
love
And she said,
Raja.
"Oh, I'm not gagging." And then
And
she was like, "Oh, you smell." Remember she said that
um,
Evie Evie smelled.
yeah. Oh well, I am gagging, but from the smell.
Right. See, iconic quote. I'm not gagging. Iconic.
Yeah,
Like up there with some of
yeah.
like the great quotes. And it came from a villain. And I just think um Raja was a testament of the crash out, being really angry, probably was so passionate, but didn't know how to like express that passion and fully just needed to have an outlet to do so. And we saw the redemption
Mhm.
on the other seasons, and that led to her winning. And then Evie, again, was also misunderstood, but she provoked a lot of those like crash outs from the other queens.
Yeah, I agree.
She threw the rock and hid behind the door.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
And that is something in which, right, like not a true villain will do, but a sneaky one. Evie was a master strategist, and she did what she needed to do, and
Yeah,
she
I mean,
she provoked Silky, and it worked.
yeah, that is true.
Because Silky got all the hate that season, and Evie was
She
back there
did.
sitting
And
real nice
Raja,
and
yeah.
pretty.
She did again, yeah. Like first time around watching the season, I was like, nope. Ms. Evie did no wrong. Everyone
Yep,
else was the one attacking her. Rewatching, I'm like, ooh, Evie, girl.
it was Evie. Yes, like the sneaky one. All right, coming in number 9, Eureka, season 9 and
You
season
found
10.
her.
Yes. And so remember, I said there is another queen on the list that was the actual villain of the season in which we put the vixen as the villain, but it's because a lot of those crash outs were provoked by Eureka.
Oh yeah, Miss Eureka loved to poke the bear. She was always instigating. Well, the vixen specifically.
Hmm.
And again, I think the most memorable one is the one where they were in a tucked, and I forgot exactly what it was that she said, honestly. But it's the one where the vixen ended up being like, "Go have your cigarette."
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, because, and this is something that you said about diabetic, right? Like, if you're going to be a villain, if you're going to be a bitch, be the bitch, right? Like,
mhm.
own it. And Eureka is a quintessential example of another example of throwing the rock and hiding behind the door. You throw the rock, and then you like, oh my God, is it me? Am I the drama? I'm not
Am
the
I the
drama.
No,
I'm
yeah,
not. I'm not.
she definitely played the victim card a lot, or like the little innocent card, but she really wasn't that innocent.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm, not at all.
Nope. And then in season 9, we had that one-sided beef with her and Trinity. At that time was Trinity Taylor, now Trinity the Tuck. And so I just found that to be hilarious because Trinity was like, child, I don't know who you are. Like,
Why did I completely forget about that? I forgot she was on season
yes.
9, honestly.
Yeah, remember in the beginning, the first couple of episodes before she hurt her ankle or her foot or whatever it is, or her knee, she had this one-sided beef with Trinity.
I don't remember that. But I mean, I
Yes,
guess
remember?
that's I really don't.
Yeah. Because it was
Oh,
non-existent because Trinity was paying her dust. But she had this one-sided beef with Trinity. As soon as Trinity came in the door, like they tried to play the edit, it seems like, oh, Eureka and Trinity are both pageant queens
I think I
and from
vaguely
the
remember that
South, and then they were
actually.
gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be competing. And Trinity was like,
I know her.
I beat Eureka in every single competition. Like, there's there's no comparison.
Ooh, and I
Because
mean,
yes.
there isn't.
I mean,
But
facts are facts,
we
America.
digress.
Right, yes. Okay. Coming in number 8. Kenny Muse from season 13 and the Bronx. I just had to put that in there because
I
obviously I'm from the
mean,
Bronx. I mean, what can we say about Candy? That Candy is a villain, and Candy was on the House of Villains, actually. So that should tell you right there that Candy is a villain.
oh yeah, fully. Yeah, I mean, they don't put fucking nice people on there. But I mean, Kenny's from the Bronx, so we know exactly the type of girl that she is, and I mean that in the best way possible. I don't put any negative connotation behind that. But she is somebody who got ticked off very easily. Um, and when she was upset, she let it be known.
Yep.
You know, anytime anything rubbed her the wrong way, she was not afraid to show her emotions. And I think sometimes they got the best of her, like that fight with Tamisha. But that made for great television. And again, delivered some of the most iconic lines, some of the most iconic quotes. Like, if you don't got star quality, get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Little girl,
Little, well, that was Tamisha, but yeah.
little girl, arrogant.
Of course,
You
I'm
think I'm
arrogant, baby.
arrogant?
Let me be arrogant. I had an arrogant necklace, and then that was one of my favorite necklaces. I used to wear it all the time. And then little drunk Johnny gave it away.
You did. No, you really did.
Yeah.
No, I mean that fight with Tamisha gave got them an Emmy, got them like MTV movie awards. And so shout out to Candy. Candy made really
Yeah.
great television on season 13. So,
Yeah. Bring it back for
all
All Stars
right.
11. Let's make some more iconic TV.
I know. Coming in number 7, runner up, season 2, and RuPaul's makeup artist, to according to Nicole Page Brooks, Raven. Now, Raven owned being a villain of season 2.
Oh,
She owned
fully.
it throughout the whole entire season, and she owned it at the reunion. So we have to give Raven her credit because she was one of the first villains that we had.
But anyway, River, Raven.
River, River, yeah,
Raven, I mean, she was definitely somebody who did not mince her words with anyone. Um, but then she also kind of, there were instances where she kind of tried to like hide what she said, or maybe in her mind she felt like it was that villainous. Like when she spoke about Tatiana in a confessional, where she was like, her book was shit, her look was shit, her whatever was shit, everything about it was shit, and then she's telling Tati like, no, I never said that. Like, no, girl, you did. Just own it. But she did own it at the end when she was like, well, I'm not sorry I said it, but I'm sorry that offended you. I'm sorry if it made
yes,
you feel some type of way, but I'm not sorry that I said it because I said it. And I think that's what makes her a great villain. She was like, yeah, I said it. I'm not
yeah.
taking it back.
Yes. But she made for great TV. Her confessionals were TV gold.
Yes. Oh,
Her lip syncs were great. Like she was just so good. Because Raven, also, we knew that once we saw Raven's face, Raven facial expressions told us that she was about to read a girl.
oh yeah, fully. What was that thing she said about Nicole? Like she said something really iconic and funny about
She had
Nicole.
acrylic nails on.
Oh right,
And
that's what it was.
yes,
Oh,
she had white
that's a
acrylic
room.
nails. Yes.
Yes, yes. I feel like there was
Which is
another
why
time she like read her, like actually read her. There definitely was.
which
I
is
just can't
why,
remember what it
yeah.
was.
Which is why Nicole said to Rue when Rue asked her, "Do you still have
That's
white acrylics?" And she was like, "No, that was a rumor that your makeup artist made." Like that is why Nicole said that, which is why
yeah.
Nicole is amazing television.
Oh, yes, I want to see them back on the season again together.
They will be so good, but Ravens pass those threes.
Yeah, yeah. Who do her makeup?
And
Who do Rue's makeup?
right, Emmy winning, baby, Emmy winning. All right, Sticks, one of my favorite queens. I love her. And she was on my top 15 favorite or all favorite queens in our first episode, Plain Jane from season 16. I live for Plain Jane. I love that big body bitch. Like, I love her so, so much.
Yeah, I mean, she loved to critique the girls and she loved to provoke them. But they also loved to provoke her because they knew she would crash the fuck out. Like, who was it? It was Dawn who kept coming for her during that one, like, I forgot what episode it was,
It was
but
the green dress
it was
in
the green
which
dress that I remember. I don't
Plain
remember
Jane
what
was
episode it
sort of in
was.
the bottom, but she did not want to accept that she was in the bottom for that episode.
Yes, but I think at first it was that, but then once she realized that it was just getting a rise out of playing. She just went for it. She pushed her even further until
Yep.
playing finally cracked. She got up off her couch, did a little spin, and she was like, "All right, you want to do this? We're gonna do this." And she just went off on her. I love that moment. That was so much fun.
Yes, yes. Obviously, the strategist that Plain Jane it was or is, she knocked Nymphia out of the top two on her first episode with the Raider Queen.
Mhm.
Brilliant. That was an amazing
Mastermind.
strategy. Mastermind. She was two steps ahead of the girls. Love that. And then, right, she had her provoke um mandatory meeting.
Oh, she hate.
Like,
Ooh, you would think that a mandatory meeting like pissed on her mother's grave or something. The way she kept coming for her.
like
I
she
mean,
came for a
I get,
mandatory meeting
I
the whole
get
entire
the
season.
hate. I am not defending Plain Jane's actions, but I get the hate towards a mandatory meeting makeup at the time of filming. Because those a mandatory meetings eyebrows at the time of filming really pissed me off too. I don't think I would have gone off the way Plain Jane did, but I got why she was upset. Again, not defending her actions at all. But post season, a mandatory meeting is one of the most beautiful queens we've seen.
Yes, a mandatory meeting is gorgeous.
Yes, that
Like
that glow up has oof.
that globe is amazing. But
Those
shout out to
hormones.
Plain Jane. Shout out to Plain Jane because Plain made season 16 a really great season.
Oh yeah, fully.
All right, we're coming in the top five, and we can't have a top five of villains and not include Derry Berry. It's Derek, bitch, from season eight. So why do you think we put Derek so high on the villain list?
Derek was very. I think Derek is one of the most delusional queens we've had on Drag Race.
Delusional confidence, number one criteria.
Yeah, she thought she was the greatest thing to walk into RuPaul's Drag Race. And she thought she was gonna take it all. But let's be real, Miss Derek was never gonna take the crown in in her original season, um, because all she and most of what she knew what to do was Britney. She didn't at the time. She didn't really know how to evolve past that and really show us who she really was as as a queen, I guess. Apart from Britney, I think she's great. I think she's wonderful. But yeah, her delusion on season 8 was crazy, but it also made for amazing television. And the way she just kept
Amazing.
coming for Bob, every chance she got, she came for Bob.
Listen, if I want to do Ratchet Bob, if I want to do Ratchet Drag, Bob, can you give me some pointers?
So, did you see the tea that was just? I think it was recently revealed that that was not supposed to be filmed. They were just like about to have like their lunch or whatever, like post filming, and then Derek just started going off. So the cameramans like quickly grabbed their cameras to start filming, and they're like, "Oh, well, I guess here we go again." But they were supposed to be
Yeah,
done filming for the day.
yeah. And that's why you see Acid like what the fuck is happening right now? Yes, it makes sense. Makes so much sense. All right.
Yeah,
Coming in at number four, it's the Boom Boom Gun. You know, dropping in like
I'm not.
fresh
I don't jump the gun. I
tilapia.
am the boom boom gun.
It is Gia Gunn from season six. Listen, I should have put All Stars 4 here too because she was a she was a villain on All Stars 4. What you
Ooh, no.
wanna do is not necessarily what you gonna do.
I think she was a bigger villain on All Stars 4 than she was on season 6.
Correct. Yes.
Because listen, not just that, her telling Trinity, well, like I guess it makes more sense for you to do it, or her going unprovoked to Farah while she's like preparing herself, doing her makeup, and she was like, "Well, some of your group mates think you're the weakest link." Like just completely unprovoked. She loved to get in the girls' heads and she loved to instigate fights. But you know what we haven't mentioned actually? She was on a season of what was that? Oh, on the
The
Spanish
switch.
version of like The Switch.
The
There, that's what it
switch.
was. She stayed coming for those girls in Spanish. And I think that's what makes her an amazing villain. She can come for you in English or in Spanish. She was instigating fights in South America. Like that girl knows how to create drama.
And we love her for it. We love a queen that can start a fight and finish one. All right. Three, Jeremy Carey, formerly known as Fifi O'Hara from season four and All Stars 2. Now, I mean, do we need to really elaborate on why Fifi is a villain? I think we all can say go back to Party City where you belong.
Or this is a competition for talented people. You should not be here right now. You
Or
are
the
a
face
man in a
crack.
beat. You're,
Listen, or the face crack of All Stars 2 when she dragged Alyssa.
and then Alyssa comes down, like waltzing back in, like, what'd you say? Woo! Oh, they don't make TV like that anymore.
They don't. But obviously, Fifi is no longer with us. We have Jeremy Carey now. So we have to respect that.
I was about to say, girl, why you making it sound like she died? Well, I
No, I
guess
mean, well,
Fifi.
the Fifi
Fifi.
persona did,
Yeah.
yes, has passed, but Jeremy Carey is there. Who was an amazing, like, what do they call them? Cosplayers or
Yes.
just like illusionists? Oh my gosh, the makeup artist is
Yes.
divine. All right,
Yes.
number two, we have another tie. We have Roxy Andrews from season five, and we also have Mimi I'm First from season two. Now, Mimi is the villain of season two because drag, what was it, was it two or three?
Three. Two. Yeah,
Season
season
three?
three. Yeah.
Season three. Obviously, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, look at that.
Yeah.
But yes, season three, yes. Drag is not a contact sport.
Honestly, she's the villain for that shit she decided to wear on TV.
Me, turn it around.
Uh, oh my.
That's a fool, girl. It's a fool.
I was about to say the act a fool, girl. Act a fool. Um,
Mimi, I'm first. Mimi, I'm first. Was number two in the voting?
and then she was like,
Like,
"Don't you attack my fans?" Well, from what I've seen, you don't have a lot. That, oh my God, the way they
oh,
came for Mimi on
oh
All
my,
Stars One.
oh my God, it was so good.
I Yes, but I low key felt bad for Mimi because those girls did not let her breathe at all. She would just take a breath and they would just attack her. And poor Pandora just sat there like, damn, that's my partner.
It is. Yeah, yeah. That was, and then Roxy Andrews from season five.
Oof.
Roxy has since changed, right? Like, so I want to preference. We're only talking about the persona that was on season five, right? Because Roxy has changed since that. We've seen it on her other, like All Stars. When she came back for All Stars 2, she was nicer, and then obviously when she came back for All Stars 9, she was an amazing, like, well-rounded, like, super, like, just lovely queen as a whole.
Mhm.
But that fight or that feud with Jinx Monsoon was
She
the ultimate villain.
the way she treated Jinx is crazy. She stayed coming for her any chance she got, and she dragged Jinx through the poor mud. Like she really did not like her at all.
Not at all. And I
Mm-mm.
mean, she's since apologized, right? And she said it, and she said that the reason why is because at
She
that
was
point
abandoned
she
at the
didn't.
train at the bus station. I'm sorry.
I was not gonna talk about that. That was not why she did it. She did it because she was a pageant queen, and at that point she thought all drag should have been pageantry. Like that kind of drag. She thought she was doing drag at the highest level, and Jinx was making a mockery out of it by being
Yeah.
kooky and funny and not like, taking the runways really serious. So because she felt like this was a competition and a pageant and Jinx wasn't, that bothered her.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
Not being
that's
left at the bus stop.
I mean, that probably, it scarred her. It created some psychological trauma and stuff that could probably be linked back to her actions in season five. But I'm not a therapist. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or whatever you want to call them. Um, but I feel like that's a similar thing with Fifi. I think Fifi had like a similar sentiment about Dragon. I think that's what also made her crash out a lot. But that's, we already moved past that one. But just kind of wanted to bring that up.
Okay. So the moment we have all been waiting for, the moment
In the
has
moment, I
come
think everyone is.
for us to crown our top favorite,
I don't have anything
number
to come
one
with.
villain of RuPaul's Drag Race. Even though that says no, ma'am, but this is a yes, ma'am. This is an OVA in terms
Yes.
of the school of villainry. Those two, none other than Mistress Isabel Brooks from season
Oh my God.
15 and All Stars 10. So now, We just did our full recap of bracket two of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10, and Mistress single handedly mastermind her getting into the semifinal round by all means necessary.
Yeah. She completely manipulated all the girls to doing exactly what she wanted to do every single episode, and she got her way. And she did not mince her words. Well, I think in her original season, more than this one, she did not mince her words and just said whatever was on her mind, and she was very manipulative even in her original season, and very. She's a troll. She is a troll through and through, and she knows it, and she loves it, and we love her for it. She loves to instigate. She loves to stir the pot any chance she gets, and she loves to influence other people to do the same thing. And I think that's what makes her an amazing villain.
I couldn't have said it best. Also, so there's some tea. Obviously, we talked about this on the last episode, right?
Oh, the Miss
Obviously,
Sasha
Sasha blocked, yep, Sasha blocked her, whatever, yada yada. But did you know that her and Carrie wasn't talking for a little bit?
post season. That makes sense.
I don't know if it was post or like probably post, but or like within a little period or whatever it is. I think it had to do with all the drama that was happening, with the mothers and stuff like that. But so that to me makes a lot of sense as to why Carrie's confessional, when she was like, "You bitch," was so pointed, and why
Mm.
that bitch was so guttural, because it probably was a true feeling in the moment.
Oh no, yeah, fully. That was no like scripted TV moment or a moment where like she was just trying to get like a one-liner or anything like that. I felt like she really, really felt it. Like she was very upset by what Mistress had done, and you could see that, you could feel that through the screen.
Yes. Yeah, but they I do believe Carrie is going to be on probably Mistress Mondays like latest episode, and they talk about it. So if you want, head over to Mistress's YouTube to go watch that video. They pretty much have explained like the whole drama and all
Mm.
that stuff. But I just thought that was so funny that they were like, "Yeah, girl, like we had to hash it out. We had to talk to each other."
That
And what I like
that's a
about
working on the
Mistress.
remakes.
Yes. But what I love about Mistress is that Mistress is going to do her big one. And she's like, listen, if we got drama, I'm going to come to you in person and we're going to talk about this in person. I'm not doing this back and forth, all this like, oh, he said, she said. I'm not doing that. And I think that also makes a really great villain too, because if you're going to stand on it, stand on
Oh
it.
yeah. And she's definitely one that stands on it. She knows she is a villain and she loves it.
That's it. And also, she has, it's unnecessarily, but has been receiving a lot of hate.
Oh yeah.
So for these, and it, mind you, it's only been 3 episodes. She's gotten so much hate in 3 episodes. Imagine if this was a full season.
Girl, they'd be calling to cancel RuPaul's Drag Race.
Like, they said that she was evil for what she did. They
They
said
said
somebody said that she was somebody also said that she was a Donald Trump of drag.
I saw
Um,
that. Somebody said she had no soul.
she had no soul. What? She's just playing a game.
That's literally what it is. And I I think people really need to understand that she does this intentionally to get the reactions that she gets. Um, I don't think she is a villain in real life. I actually think, from what I've heard, she's pretty kind and is actually really nice in person. But again, she's just creating a persona. She sticks to it, and it makes for amazing television. And I don't think she
Mistress,
deserves all of this hate at all.
no. Mistress is television gold. If
Yes.
we didn't have someone like Mistress who understands the assignment, these seasons will be kumbayas.
And it'd be so boring, and people would say it's boring. They want a villain, but when they get one, they crash out. It makes no
I
sense.
think they want a specific kind of villain,
Mm, a boring one.
right? And I think that's an episode for us to talk about, right? And we're gonna talk about it on our Patreon. That there's a specific type of person that the Drag Race fandom appreciates, and there is the other ones that the fandom does not. And so, if Mistress was the trade of the season, if Mistress was a skinny white twink and got into full glam mode, I guarantee you we will be living for Mistress as a villain. But because Mistress is not that, the fans hate her. And
Yeah,
I just think that's a conversation that just needs to be had
yeah, on the Patreon.
on the Patreon. But there you go, friends. That has been our list of our top 15 picks for the top villains of RuPaul's Drag Race. So, did you agree? Did any of our picks have you saying no, ma'am? Did we miss any queens? Remember, there's been 17 seasons of the regular season of Drag Race. And so, did we miss any of the queens that you might have thought should have been a villain? Shouldn't have been. Should we have moved anyone lower on the list or bumped up a queen higher on the list? Let us know. Drop your comments below. So now, friends, there you have it. You know what to do. Hit that follow button on your favorite platforms. Leave us a 5-star rating. Drop your favorite moment in our DMs or comment below because we are dying to hear from you. And as always, this is No Ma'am, where real talk meets legendary energy. Until next time, friends.